Hi everyone, it's Pastor Matt from Friendship Church with a devotional thought for us for this week. At the very beginning of the Bible, when the very first sin occurred, we're told that God came in order to talk to Adam, confront Adam about that sin, and that Adam's initial response was to blame. As a matter of fact, what he says is, "The woman you gave me." And he immediately, upon sinning, begins to focus on what's wrong and broken in others and blame others rather than looking internally at the mess that is within him. And really, since sin entered into the picture, that has been a temptation for us to focus our attention on the brokenness and the sin and the mess that is out there rather than focusing on the mess that is in here and how that needs to change. And Jesus addresses this in Matthew chapter 7. He uses this, I think it's supposed to be silly, even funny illustration about you walking around with a giant log in your eye, but looking out and focusing on the speck that's in another person's eye. And he asks, why is it that you see the speck in another person's eye, but you don't see the log that is sticking out of your own eye? The implication of what Jesus is teaching here is that our focus is to be on what is going on and what is wrong in us, because the aim of Jesus' work in our life is our holiness. Not to be able to look around and find everything that's wrong and broken in the world. There's a lot that's wrong and broken in the world. We can all see it. But God's priority is that we would focus on the things that are wrong and broken in us, and that we would work with Him in order to make change in those areas. That's why Jesus says, first, remove the log from your own eye. Anytime that we spend time in the Word of God or hear truth taught, we are to first apply that word to us. It's tempting to want to apply that word to people that we know. It's tempting to want to apply truth or something that's convicting to all that is broken out there. And again, there's a lot that's broken out there, and we need to make mention of that. But the first place we always go when we spend time in the Word of God and when we are confronted by truth is into our own lives, to focus on the things that are broken or wrong in us, and pray that God would root those things out of us. The psalmist doesn't ask that God would examine the souls of others and show them their wicked ways. The psalmist says, examine my heart, search my heart, and show me any wicked way that is within me. And that's to be the cry of our hearts as Jesus followers. And that's also true of the teaching that we choose to listen to. There are a lot of teachers out there who want to take the Word of God and then beat up on people outside of the church using the Word of God. Now, there is a place within teaching and preaching for us to recognize how broken the world is and how sinful things are within the world. But the primary place of application within any good teaching is always to get us to look inward, to say, God, what is it in me that you would change today? What is it in me that you would have to be different? And so as you're choosing teachers to listen to, as you're choosing podcasts, books, whatever it is, by all means, don't choose people who are angrily using the Word of God as a hammer to hammer away at people out there somewhere. But instead, people who are choosing to use the Word of God as a scalpel in order to help do surgery in our lives, to help us look inside and make the changes that God would have us